What's going on, guys? It's Greg Campbell, Angry Tones Riff Clips, coming at you with our very first Fack It Friday. Seems like everyone's doing these right now. I'm just shooting from the hip here. Never done this before, just kind of having fun. First of all, I want to say I appreciate every single one of my subscribers on here, as well as followers on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. I'll leave those links below. And I wanted to say thank you to everybody that has purchased any one of my signature items. I know a lot of folks are waiting right now on the Alchemist pickup, and Voodoo Custom Pickups is doing everything that they can. With COVID and things going on, it's a little harder for some of these guys to get their supplies and things that they need, but they are in the midst of working on it and getting this stuff out to you guys as soon as possible, as well as Danny Kreider with noise pollution pedals. I know some folks out there waiting on gearboxes and stuff like that and skull drivers. Thank you guys very much for hanging in there. I really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's do some frequently asked questions here. It's the first one. I don't know if I'll do this every Friday, maybe just one Friday a month. My work schedule is pretty hectic and stuff like that, so it might be an evening type thing right here, but let's go ahead and have some fun with it. I printed out some of these questions here. The first one is Michael Abbas. I hope I'm saying that right. Michael Abbas. He's actually been following my stuff for a long time, and I'm really thankful for that. His question is, what brand of strings do I use, and what kind of gauges do I use, since I'm pretty much just playing 6-string guitars instead of 7s and 8s now? Great question. I've actually been using String Source for quite some time now. Excellent company. These things are bulletproof. They're one of the only brands I've been playing for a while right now that seem to keep their clarity and their brightness after playing for a while. Usually when your strings start to get dead is when you change them, or in my case, I break strings a lot. I used to use Ernie balls forever. I still have quite a few packs of those. You know, if I need to change one string or something like that, sometimes I'll throw it on. I used to use Ernie ball 10 to 52 cobalts and Ernie ball 11 to 56s. I don't really use anything thicker than that because just for the way I play, it just sounds a little too muddy. But String Source, they make custom sizes. I use their 11 to 52s and their 10 to 52s. Some of them I use for drop tuning, so there might be a 56 thrown in there. But the String Source, excellent strings. Reach out to them, Michael. You might really like them. They're extremely well made. They sound sick, and they're not expensive at all. They're no more expensive than some of the other awesome brands out there. But the String Source, reach out to them on Instagram. I believe one of the gentlemen's names is Eric Hill that runs the company, as well as Gary Singleton. Great gentleman to work with. Next question here. Chadwick Clay Pryor. This guy has an awesome page on Facebook. You guys need to check it out. It's the Roach Class. It's Pantera, obviously, surrounds around that page, you know, Dimebag's tone and stuff like that. So hats off to them. Roach Class page. Check them out. I know there's more to that page name too. Forgive me, but as far as I remember, I believe it's called the Roach Class. His question: do you prefer to boost your amp's gain channel or run a preamp overdrive boost pedal through your loop? I'm a Randall guy like yourself. Hell yeah. Keep it Randall. There's a lot of great amps out there, but Randalls are sick. I'm a Randall guy like yourself, and I just don't like my Randall drive tone colored too much, so I just boost it. Chadwick, that is a awesome question. I'm really actually glad you asked that, because a lot of folks have asked this question. And I try to answer everybody's question on the YouTube comments, and I think I do. I answer every single one of them, but this is a great question. As far as boosting the amp's gain circuit, or the gain channel, I love to boost it. Sometimes I boost the front of it, especially with the new Deadweld audio, because it's kind of a three-way boost. You can boost it, you can overdrive it, or you can run both simultaneously and boost the drive. But I like to push the front end of my amps a lot. That's how I get a lot of my tones, just for the way I like to play. But the question where you ask about not coloring the tone too much and just boosting it through the loop, a preamp overdrive, that's actually a great question, because a lot of the times, not always for my videos, but if I'm recording, I like to use a Shure 57 or E906 in the cabinet, and when I'm recording a lot, I sometimes like to use a PQ4 in the loop, which definitely boosts the tone as well as focuses on EQ. But I don't usually boost it with a pedal per se, like, you know, the Ampman's boost pedal. The Venom incorporated boost is one of my favorite boosts out there as well, but that boosts the front end of the amp. So a lot of these pedals, I don't feel like they color the tone too much unless I'm using the actual gain on the pedal a lot if you're cranking up the gain. But if you're using it tube screamer style, I don't really notice it coloring too much. It just adds that extra punch, adds that extra clarity, and in some cases pushes the preamp even harder because of the volume's high output. So I hope that answers your question. I'm super happy that you're a Randall guy. I wish I could get more Randalls, but right now with the family and the new little one we have, little baby Harper, I don't think my wife would be stoked if I had 3-4 new Randalls showing up at the house, but I'm a big Randall fan. So this is a great question. Thank you. This is Pat Garrett. Super happy to get a question from Pat. He's playing some awesome stuff out there. He's also a Randall guy, I believe. I've seen his Diavolo in a few videos. Thanks for reaching out, Pat Garrett. His question is, what was the process when developing your signature gear, and what was your level of involvement in the research and development? That's a really good question, because a lot of the genius behind these products, I have to give all the credit to the builders. Danny Kreider from Noise Pollution Pedals, when he built the gearbox, I have it right here. When he built this gearbox, we spent a few weeks in conversations over the phone. That was loud. We spent a few weeks in conversation over the phone about what I was wanting in an overdrive or a boost pedal, if I could, you know, make it my own. And being that I've collected a lot of boost and drives over the years, I basically told him the sounds I'm after, the sounds I'm looking for, the EQ type curves that I would want. I don't know all the tech savvy stuff as far as what's inside the pedal, you know, what kind of clipping diode and what kind of this. I leave that to the professionals, the experts, but I explained a lot about what my tone is because I hear it in my head, and if I can get it to come out the speakers, mission accomplished. Danny Kreider is a genius in his own mind with how he builds these things, the finishes, the internal components. Once I told him what I wanted, he sent some video clips and said, here, you know, we're getting closer. How does this sound? How does this look? What color knobs? What kind of finishes are you looking for? And once it was all said and done and he sent the prototype, there was no need to make any changes. It was what I wanted, you know, at the time for a boost and a drive. And what's even cooler about that pedal is it's kind of reminiscent of the Dead World Audio. Theirs is on a whole nother level with the noise gate and stuff like that, and their parts being from Germany, but it's also similar though because it has a boost. The Noise Pollution Angry Riffs gearbox has a boost, which is like a TC integrated preamp side, but it's a single knob action, kind of like a Fortin 33, but a little reimagined. And the overdrive side has your main 3 knobs like tube screamer style, but it's more of a modded hot tube screamer, so it's very high gain, very high output. But what's cool that makes it reminiscent of the Dead World Audio to me in a little bit of a way is you can boost the overdrive. So it's a 3-way pedal. You can boost your amp, you can overdrive your amp, or you can boost the overdrive internally on the pedal and get kind of a hyper gain out of it. And it's actually really cool when you dial back the chug knob, hit the gain at about maybe, I don't know, 9 o'clock, you know, and bury the volume. You get a really good sound out of that pedal, especially for extended range instruments. Guys will love the clarity and the brightness coming out of it. It's just a really well-made design. And as far as the custom pickup, with Rich with Voodoo Custom Pickups, Rich is a mastermind with what he's doing, and I can't say enough good things about it. He's really building a little bit of hype in the guitarist community, and his stuff is just incredible. The Pennywise the Pennywise pickup blew my mind, and the way he designed that and everything. When he reached out to me and was like, you know, could I build you something? What are you after? You know, I kind of approached him with some ideas, you know, for a future pickup, and he had, you know, just got back to me and said, what if we built a signature pickup? And I was like, okay, that's a life goal. Super thankful for that opportunity. As far as the research and development with the pickup, once again, all the credit is going to Rich because he knows the technical side about pickups that I don't know. Once again, I'm just a gear guy and a musician that knows what I want to hear. Been in and out of studios since I was younger. I'm 42 years old now, so as far as the tone searching, if I know what I want to hear and it can get accomplished through somebody, that makes all the difference. And once again, perfect execution. When Rich created the Alchemist pickup, it just blew my mind. As far as research and development, we went over bobbin colors. I told him I wanted the black hex screws, black slugs, an all blacked out pickup, just my style. Being from Orange County, California for over 35 years, things out there. It's popular if they're murdered out, you know. So I said, can we make it just an all jet black pickup? I don't care if it's matte or regular black, just an all black pickup. And now he offers it with the Voodoo logo on the pickup in all black, where mine is kind of like a chrome. So maybe I'll get one of those in the future for some other guitars. But as far as my side, it was all about tone conversations, tone chat, tone talk. I told him what I wanted to hear, what I'm used to hearing, you know, because I played Seymour Duncan pickups for the better part of 25 years. And he was like, well, what are some of your favorites? What are the tones you're after? And I was like, I've been using the JB since I was like 16 years old. I couldn't stray away from it. I used the Nazgul, the Omega, the Full Shred's another favorite of mine, the Custom 5 SH14. I have a lot of favorites I enjoyed from Seymour Duncan. So with all these conversations, he asked, what kind of tones are you looking for? He knew I played the heavy stuff and the aggressive stuff and all that tight low end and, you know, things you read about and hear about. That's popular right now. You want a tight, snug sound if you play metal. You don't want it to be too loose. It depends on the type of metal, I guess. Sometimes I do want a looser, you know, raunchier tone. But that tight, focused aggression, the articulateness, the string separation, the clarity is huge for me. So we went all over these conversations. And when it came to pass, he said, okay, we got an A6 magnet with 7,800 winds, which right there blew my mind. I said, okay, you let me name it the Alchemist because of the relationship between liquid and metal, but 7,800 winds was awesome because I'm born in 1978. A6 magnet is awesome because I was born in June 6. It's just kind of cool how some of these things came out. So a lot of funny little nuances came out of that, as well as the tones. I told him I wanted to have extreme clarity because I'm not always using a rhythm pickup. Sometimes I use the neck pickup a lot with my clean parts, creating some of those darker vibes. So I wanted a pickup that can kind of handle the best of both worlds. And when he built that, he really nailed it. So as far as research and development, Pat, it was a lot of conversations about the tone, the colors, and the specs. But as far as components, the amount of scatter winds and stuff, that's all the builder. Rich just knew what he's doing. Once he heard about what I wanted with the tone, I think he just knows how to create what the artist or the player or musician wants. And that's what I want out of a company, whether it's a big or a small company. He will do what you're looking for and he will complete it. And if you're not satisfied with it, he'll redo it. When he first sent the pickup, he was like, how does it sound? Are there any complaints? If I had a complaint, I'd definitely let him know. You know, I've bought some Seymour Duncans in the past where I was like, this is just not right. Boom, back to the music store, try something else. You know, but this one, it really worked well with my guitar. The Pennywise worked well with my Washburn. The Alchemist sounds sick in the ESP. And these woods sometimes don't handle certain pickups really well. They could sound too bright. They could be too on the warm side. You know, so Alchemist is incredible. And I really appreciate you guys waiting for that to be completed as well, as he is in the midst of building everybody's pickups. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight to these frequently asked questions here. We're going to go over our last question here. Call it a night. This is coming from Silver Fox Guitar. This is Steve from Effects Pedal Planet. Steve, I'm super happy you reached out and sent a question to Angry Riffs here. Silver Fox Guitar asks, my question is, what planet are you on? Effects Pedal Planet, homeboy. Appreciate it, Steve. You guys got to check out his Facebook page, Effects Pedal Planet's awesome. If you're a gear nerd, you like all the hottest new stuff coming out, or you just have questions about the older stuff, or you want to check out some of his interviews he does with artists, builders, all sorts of stuff. His page is dedicated to all sorts of spectrum of pedals and their makers and their builders and all their products. Even troubleshooting questions. There's a lot of top-notch guys out there. But his actual question is, seriously though, Silver Fox says, how does someone like me get into learning doom riffs and where should I start? That is a rad question, and I'm glad you asked, Steve, because I know you play some of the pop and folky stuff and all sorts of rock and blues. But to get into doom, I'm a big fan of doom metal, but I'm not going to name a million bands. What I'm going to tell you to do is listen to Black Sabbath. That's it. If you want to get started in what really started the doom sound, listen to Tony Iommi's riffs. The simplicity, the tone, the dark vibes, the minors and sharps and flat, just the way he writes it's brilliant. And that's what got me into Doom early on, was listening to Sabbath and then chasing more sounds like that. Because I listen to all different genres of metal, but Black Sabbath is what actually started it all for me. And when I got into that darker sound and those darker vibes, I kind of had that urge for more and reached out. Now, as far as a pedal company, I haven't even owned a pedal from yet, but I've heard them a million times. If you want to get a good Doom sound, obviously your gain on your amplifier, you know, find it to taste, dial it in. But Frost Giant makes some killer pedals for Doom. A lot of good fuzzes and stuff like that. They make some great stuff. There's a lot of great companies, but Frost Giant is really knocking it out of the park with some of these Doom sounds, in my opinion. So check them out. I'm really glad you guys had some questions for me. Once again, I'm not sure if I'll make this an every Friday kind of thing with my work schedule and stuff like that and the kiddos, but as far as the amount of questions I get will determine how often I do these late night Fridays. If you have a question for me next time, drop it in the comments on YouTube. That's where I'd like to see most of these questions. That makes it easier for me to go through and scroll through everybody's and write them down or print them out or whatever. That way I can attentively look at everybody's question and answer it to the best of my abilities, and hopefully that's what we did tonight. But thank you guys for tuning in. There'll be more from Angry Tones. Got some new cool pedals coming on the way. I'll be demoing at random. I can't do stuff every day, but I'd love to. But I'll definitely keep throwing some great material. And shout out to Sean White. He's actually sent a Lauren Audio Spitfire overdrive that I can't wait to try out soon. I got a few pedals on the bench I'll be going through first, so hopefully he's not too mad if I have to keep that pedal for a little while, but not too long, Sean. But thank you for reaching out and sending that as well. I really appreciate it. Came in safe and sound from UPS. But you guys stay tuned. There's a lot of great stuff going on with this channel, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you guys. Keep it metal. We'll see you later.